This is how to build a startup from scratch and scale it to success. Today, I'm sitting down with the founder of Lofi Code who turned a simple idea into a thriving business. He's here to share with you the strategies, the mindset, and the steps he took to turn his vision into reality. My name is Marvellous and I'm here with Mr. Jauki, the founder of Lofi Code. Okay, so Mr. Jauki, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, you guys.
Okay, thank you for agreeing to become our guest. Okay, so can you tell us who Lofi Code is or who Mr. Jauki is?
My name is Takudzwa Jauki for those who don't know me, and I am the CEO of Lofi Code. And generally, what we generalize in making websites and designing websites that are actually user-friendly. Because one of the things we saw in Zimbabwe was most of our websites and any web platform in general, or any application that is, doesn't have any user-friendliness to it, if you know what I'm saying. So
yeah. I've seen a lot of softwares where it's very hard to use, just like Zoom. It's very hard to use. So I had so many challenges using this application.
So like the meaning of Lofi itself means something that is minimalized, something that is
minimalized.
Yes, something that is minimalized, something that is broken down into its most simplest form. And we believe as a company that any software we produce, anything we produce, whether it be design, whether be it a website, it must be broken down into the most simplest thing that anyone can understand. So I myself am a graphics designer, a web developer, and a UI UX designer, and also a programmer. So yeah, that's about Lofi Code and myself.
Okay. So how do you really mix all those fields? You're a graphic designer, you're a programmer, you are a UX or UI designer. How does that work?
Well, it all starts with the basics that all things that are visual come from design. So graphics design in essence touches all aspects, even UI UX designer. That's why you see most graphics designers can delve into more jobs, even video editing, because it all has to do with visual things. So graphics design it encompasses UI UX design, but it's only the principles that differ. And then when it comes to programming, I love the visual aspect of things, but also I love the practicality of it. So it's now putting all these things together to form a product.
A unified product, or something of a unified minimum value. It's an MVP, right? A unified MVP. Okay. But you know what? They say a master of all is a master of none. So does that apply to you, or we can just say graphics design and web design, they work hand in hand? So it's more of the same thing. So what's your take?
My take is, yes, a jack of all trades, master of none. That statement can at most summarize some parts of me, but I don't really think that is all parts, because I believe in centering upon one thing you do the most, monopolizing one skill so that no one does it better than you. And I believe when it comes to UI UX designing and graphics designing, I have mastered that. But when it comes to programming, I might say that I'm just a good programmer, not the best, but I'm just a good one. I'm just a good one, just to get by.
Okay, I can even help you there. You know, when I was going through the web, I came across one website. It was just, I forgot the actual name or the text, but then the design of the website itself was minimalistic and it was nice. So I was talking to one of your co-founders, Mr. Tawea. So I said, you know what? I want something that's minimalistic like this one, but at the same time, I want it to be interesting in a glance, where I can, if I just send one link to, my viewers, they'll just sign up. You said you create minimalistic websites, right? The design has to be simplified enough. It has to be user friendly, right? So I was talking to Tauya, and this minimalistic version of the website, and I said, you know what? I want something that's similar, but I want something that's eye-catching, that's interesting in a glance, where if someone is scrolling, they can just stop and what, and actually come to, if they are going to register on my website, they're going to register. So it should be attractive. It should be attractive, meaning it can sell. The design can sell. So how does it work in terms of closing people through design?
Well, it kind of encompasses quite a whole lot of aspects when it comes to selling, because the difference between a salesman and the graphics designer and the web designer and the web developer all comes down to the mode of communication. When it comes to design and web development, we don't communicate using actual words, but it's visual cues that we use. So
visual cues,
it's now up to us to really delve deeply into the market that we are trying to create a website for, or to create a design for. And when we understand the people that we're dealing with, it's easier for us to create something that can sell, that can deliver results. Because it's not always about a good-looking graphics design or good-looking website. It's about a website that is able to captivate people. So you'll be surprised that some of the websites we see may not be actually as nice as we like them to be, but you see that website has been there for 10 years and doing actually well, more than others. So it's about knowing the users that we are targeting. Yeah, for me that's it. That's knowing the users.
Okay.
Already, I'm happy. I'm talking to an expert, and I can see from what you're saying. So now we were just wondering. So now this brings us to one of my questions. I like to ask people how they started, because there's a lot that you face in your journey, and there are a lot of hurdles that you face when starting, especially in entrepreneurship if you're a startup. So can you describe how you started?
Well, okay. Where can I start? It all started with just a desire to create something that is much more user-friendly, much more better than the things that we are using right now. Because I was actually baffled by the fact that the same websites we use or the same services that we have in Zimbabwe, if you go on the internet, you'll find an alternative in another country. Let's say, let's not go far, maybe South Africa, but you see the difference between the quality of the website, and you would wonder, is it because that we have bad developers, or is because our developers are not really tuned to the thing of designing and the importance of it thereof? So that's where it started. It started with, I can do better than this. I can do better than this. I can do better than this. And of course, the first days you believe that you can do better, but then as time goes on, you realize that when I started by saying I can do better, I was actually doing the worst. But as time goes on, you see that you improve and improve, and you get where you want to go. And when it comes to Lofi Code, I started out with my co-founder Tauya, and we just started out wanting to create something different. We wanted our products to be known without having us to announce ourselves that this is a product by Lofi Code or a website by Lofi Code. Someone must just see it and just know that, no, this thing was created by these guys. So much of our work has been on creating a name, creating a brand for ourselves. that has nothing to do with colors or anything, but just the quality of our work. So yeah, there have been some milestones that we pushed from, and there have been some obstacles, obviously, but the more you go, the more years that pass by, the more you gain experience and things get better, and you learn more from people, and you get more connections, and yeah, it never ends. It never ends.
Okay. You know, I see the power of branding there. The good thing about graphic designers, if you study as a graphic designer, you understand the power of branding. So wherever you go, you take those skills and implement them. So if you look at a graphic designer, and if they are going to start a brand or a startup, what you find the people doing better is in branding. They'll be doing better in branding. So to what extent did graphics design influence Lofi Code in terms of branding?
Well, that's quite a lot. It's a tremendous influence from that area, because our main vision is minimalism. That's like what we go for.
Minimalism.
And
so why is it so important? Why is it so important to your goal and your vision?
well, because we believe that less is more. I mean, we believe that, yeah, in a world whereby you're being bombarded by information from social media each and every second, it should take you less time to go through our website. It shouldn't take you ages to find a home button, a contact us button, all these things. It should be in as little time as possible. And we realize that people like to have tasks whereby they do them in very little time, and they actually enjoy the process because it's embedded within their brains. It'll be more or less like a motor action that they will be producing by themselves. Like, we can take an example. Sorry for driving you way off, but we can take an example for WhatsApp. Like, open your phone. You can actually open your phone, eyes closed, and go to WhatsApp, and actually go to the statuses.
Eyes closed. Exactly. You know, can I interrupt you there? You know, there's one thing that I like about phones. You know, to actually switch off an alarm, you can do it in your sleep. So, you know, the simplicity that comes with those applications, whereby you just know if an alarm rings at 4 a.m., you just swipe. In your sleep, you just swipe. And it's the applications have gone to a level where they are now as simple as that. As simple as you're not even thinking of using WhatsApp, but you find yourself there. You're not even thinking of typing a certain word, but you find yourself typing the word. So nowadays, we don't think, but we just do. So it's more like we are hooked up in more like a cyberspace, or maybe we are now cybernetic organisms, where we just understand technology from an instinct point of view. So it's very interesting in that way. So,
you know, I would like to say that technology is now an extension of the human body. It's now part of
an extension of the human body, yeah.
And one of the things that makes us angry as people, or that frustrates us, is when you get a new application, right? And then the new application not designed similar to any app. That's the worst experience.
Any other application.
Yeah. That's the worst experience you can have, because you're used to something. Like, if you see any application these days, they follow the same principles, and they're driving towards the same principles, because if you drive off, you're kind of breaking the system. You're breaking the motor what do you call this in biology? Motorways. I don't know what they call them, but that thing.
What did they call it?
The motor action. So, you know what? I was talking to one of these business people, and I asked how their journey was, and you were saying, you know what? In business, you always meet hurdles. you always meet hurdles. You start a business and it underperforms, and after it underperforms, you should come to a point where you learn what's not working and or how can you make something work. So how was your journey starting Lofi Code from the ground up?
One of the things that we kind of faced was trying to declutter our minds from what we thought was actually the best products that we're giving. So sometimes we think that maybe our designs are actually the best. What we are giving the people, what we are promising them is actually the best. Whereas it might not be what they want at the moment. So it just comes down to understanding your market in a way, because
your market, okay.
Yeah, because the moment you get into business with the mentality that we are the best, we are producing the best, that doesn't actually mean that you get more sales. Being the best and being the best seller are two different things.
Best seller.
So you need to strike a balance in both, and sometimes striking a balance in both means you're compromising one of your values. I remember when we were starting out, we had a problem with we had some design concepts that we implemented, and much of it was more or less, we can call it international design paradigms that we took from. And much of the things in Zimbabwe, the market in Zimbabwe, most of these things are not implemented. So when you come up with something like that, when they are used to another thing, it's hard to jump in the market with that. And sometimes you get caught off guard by people saying, no, your products are good, but they'll always say, and that is a
resistance to change.
But you're not yet at par with what the market really wants. So we met that problem. And then we had to re-strategize and to make sure that we incorporate all these things, even though we major on minimalism, but we had to make sure that we make the two meet together.
Okay. So I was talking to the founder and CEO of AG263, and he was talking about the same resistance to change, whereby you come up with a good product, but the market just doesn't want the product. They don't really want to change. And you said something interesting when you said having the best product does not always mean you are the best seller. So I always tell people this, there's this company which is called I forgot the name, and I think if I say the name, there will be a really violent backlash on this channel. So what I was saying is that company supplies bread in Zimbabwe, right? But then the bread is of less quality than the golden proton or the golden bakery, right? It's of less quality, but they really make more sales in terms of they are right now. I do believe and I suspect they have a government contract to provide bread to the armed forces, right? So wherever you go in the armed forces, you find that brand of bread. So they are making more sales than other guys who are in the business, but the quality is bad. So sometimes being the best seller does not mean you have the best product. So now that you have started and we've been following your progress, we know you have made so many strides in the tech business. So can you tell us what were the challenges that you faced along the way?
One of them, like I said, had to do with accepting the fact that in as much as we are producing and giving the industry one of what I believe the best designs that are out there, you had to come up to a point whereby, in as much as you are the best at designing a thing, or it looks good, something can look good to the point whereby there's no doubt that this is the best thing, but at the same time clients will say no to you, and having to deal with people like that is actually the worst thing, because you would have thought by this design that we gave them, or by this thing that we want to give them, there'll be no argument. This is the best thing. And having to deal with people that don't see things the way that you do, that was one of our problems. And then later on, the problem that we also faced is workforce. I think if anyone is in the tech business, you realize that deadlines are one of the things that get us stressed like hell. So having to do with deadlines, you have to kind of employ people, and then finding people at the same time is kind of hard, So you have to kind of delve deep and look at people's profiles and stuff, and not only finding people, but finding people that have the same vision as you. We don't
Same vision.
Yes, we don't normally take people that are just good at development. We take people that are passionate about this thing, that want the best thing to come to Zimbabwe. That's us. That's us. So those were two of the problems we had, and then I think funding was the other thing. Funding was a problem for us, and we had to get out of our pockets to make things work, to get an office, to do some things, and it kind of worked. It's working up to now, and hoping in the future that we get to a point whereby we are also listed in maybe the Zimbabwe stage market, something like that, but we will get there. I can't say that there were a lot of problems, but so far that's kind of the problems that we had, and also maybe some backstep at some point, but then no, it's more in business. It's normal.
Okay. So now that you have a lot of experience in the tech business,
if you were to start Lofi Code from the ground up, what would you do better? So before you answer this question, I'm asking for entrepreneurs who are aspiring to start a tech business. So the question would be, what advice would you give to someone who is just starting from the ground up? Maybe they're at a point where they don't have the skill, or they have the skill but they haven't started the business yet.
My best advice would be to start. That's as simple as it gets. The more you delay to start with the thought of you want to have all the things in order, I'm telling you, you will never start. The moment you try to have your things in order and have all the things sorted out so that you can start, you will never start. That's to be honest. And what I've realized is the more I delayed, thinking that I don't have enough skills, because I'm telling you, when we got into this business with my co-founder Tawe, we didn't know a thing about what we're doing. When we knew the frameworks we were using, React and all this stuff, but to really know the ins and outs of all these things, and even how to talk to a client, we didn't know. But all those things, you can't expect someone to just come and teach you all those things. It's not something you teach someone. It's something that someone has to learn through experience. So if you're that person that is aspiring to do something and you're waiting for money will never come to you. You have to. I'm telling you, do best with what you have, because I remember
That's
one of the people that didn't have. I remember we didn't have Figma plans because Figma is one of the tools we use to design, right? When we started, we used free version, and the free version is very limited. It does not have developer mode. But then we had to make sure things work out with that little that we had. We had to make sure that things work out, because if we had been complacent and had been saying that ano tozomirira kana taane mari tabo taita say and one of the things that I would like to also advise, or that I wish I'd done better, was being more kind with myself when it comes to losses, when it comes to dealing with maybe a deal that didn't go my way, or dealing with a client that is not negotiating well or responding well. Because one of the things that we constantly face in this design business is clients that are hard to deal with. And sometimes you beat yourself thinking that maybe I told them the wrong words, so they'll now go, trying to be clingy to clients and being anxious maybe that this is the last dollar that I'll get. My best advice, or the thing that I would have done more, is to just relax. You get so many opportunities, and those opportunities will never end. And the market is very vast. So you cannot be sad or be stressed because of one client. And you can also not be stressed. Yeah, and you can also not be stressed because you made a mistake. Mistakes are possible, especially in the industry. I'm telling you, you can blow off the whole database of a company and you don't even know what you did wrong. So you cannot get into this business.
That's one thing that I always tell people. People say an opportunity comes only once. But when I hear such statements, I'll say, you know what? Opportunities come only once. Yes, that's correct. But get me right. But we are the ones who are responsible for creating opportunities. And you can create an unlimited number of opportunities as much as you want. So in terms of creating opportunities for yourself, how are you creating opportunities, or how are you networking with high profile people so that you get high value clients or high ticket clients and maybe get high ticket sales in return?
Well, some of these are trade secrets, but then I'll just let one off that we used to do when we started out.
Okay.
All right. So you were lending us your trade secret in terms of creating opportunities for yourself. So I don't want you to go much into your trade secrets, because I know trade secrets are valuable. They are the ones that make you competitive in the tech market. So how are you creating your own opportunities, or how are you connecting with high profile people so that you get maybe high ticket customers and in return maybe get high ticket sales?
Like I said, some of these are trade secrets, and I won't reveal all. So one of the things that we used to do when we started is, when we saw a website that we think that this thing we can do better than this, we'd just go ahead of ourselves and then design the whole thing, and then we'd either have the home page or one of the pages done so that they can see a prototype. So when we would go and approach them and we'll say, no, this is, what if your website looked like this? Don't you think you would have more clients, your sales would go up and all this stuff? Because one of the things that we had to learn early on is to give our product value. Because one of the things that most of Zimbabwean companies don't take into consideration is the value of the website. So we had to give it value so that when we give them a website, they have to know the benefits of it. So that's one of the things that we delved into. And what else? Just having connections with people. Just going into these. If it's a conference for graphics designer, we go there. If it's a conference, because our market is businesses in Zimbabwe, so anywhere that there is a conference or anything, any business is our business. So our business is businesses of other people. So we really delve into that, and we have connections either with even our colleagues, even with other people in other tech spaces, and even other companies. And those are the people that kind of help us to expand more and to get our name to be known. And also like practical platforms like LinkedIn really pushed us early on.
Okay. So I heard you mentioned conferences, and yet it's very rare for you to find a conference being advertised anyway. And in our local situation, we find out that the social media that we have more access to is WhatsApp, right? And on WhatsApp, if you are not in so many groups, if you don't have so many groups, or if you don't have the exposure to those groups, right? The groups like the Youth Envoy magazine, or I think Empathy is a group. I think I heard of it. So if you're not in those groups now, you won't get the opportunity to know about these conferences. So in terms of making connections, or in terms of knowing where these big people, or where these high profile people hang out, where exactly can we get more information about that? Maybe if you consider that we are only using WhatsApp. So where exactly are you getting such information?
If it's me, how would I put this? It's just for me. It's my connections with some of the people that I know that give me those confidence. It's not necessarily me knowing it inherently, know that there's a conference here, there's a conference there. It's more like the more you get in touch with other people in the tech industry, the more they tell you to know we have a conference there and there, or another company here is looking for something like that and that and that and that. So it goes on to the people that you're connected to, which is way more than WhatsApp goes into. Because if you're looking for connections on your own, that won't work.
On your own.
That won't work.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of businesses going into groups where the groups are actually overpopulated with other businesses who are marketing. So, the funny thing is, the businesses are marketing to other businesses. And maybe they're also selling the same thing. So when we tried to this group that I created, where a lot of graphics designers hang out, right? So you find out that more designers would want to advertise their services in a group full of other designers, and that's a challenge. So that's why I mentioned WhatsApp because on WhatsApp, that's where most our entrepreneurs are spending their time. That's where most of our entrepreneurs are maybe wasting their time. So
one of the things that I saw that kind of gives you a trick that you're doing business when you're actually not doing business is advertisement. Advertisement is not for the fun of it. It's not for just posting so that people know. It's actually for selling something.
Yeah.
And
for selling.
Most of the things that we are selling, people don't need them. Like you're just saying that someone can put an ad for graphics design, where it's a graphics designers, you'll be wondering, does this person really know what they're doing? Does this person really know the purpose of marketing? Because marketing is, in essence, is just to draw people to know your product and to want to buy the product. How can we want to buy your product when we are the ones actually also doing the same product? So I'd advise people to find ways of communicating their product, not in an obvious way. Because if anyone sees it, like right now, if you see an ad on YouTube, you quickly, just press through it because it's so obvious. But there's a subtle way of advertisement that makes someone want your product inherently.
So I was listening to one of my favorite YouTubers. Her name is Vanessa Lawrence. So she was saying posting is not marketing. So from what you're saying posting is not marketing. So now that we know you have a broader exposure in terms of these meetings with various people, or these conferences with various people. So do you also offer mentorship in terms of entrepreneurship?
I cannot say I offer mentorship because I'm not there yet. But I can say that if you want advice from me, I'll give you advice that practically up to now, up to my level of experience, it works for me. And that might be different from someone that has 15 years of entrepreneurship. So I would say that I can give you advice, but being a mentor, that's another thing.
That's another story. So as Lofi Code, we know you do web design, you also do graphics design and a lot of other things. It's UI or UX design, right? So what exactly in terms of services do you offer?
We offer good looking and functional things that have to do with visual sensory, what we can call it like that. Things that you can see practically, like a website, like a flyer, like a poster, all those things. We make sure that they are nice, they're beautiful, and we not only make sure that it sells according to the market. That's what we set up for. And I can be boastful, but I can be led to believe that we are good at what we do.
And I also support that fact. You are really good at what you do. Hear it from me, get it from me. You are good at what you do. So in one of these days, I was also talking to Tawaya about developing my own website. And I said, you know what, guys? I like what you do. If I come to a point where I want a website and I have the budget for the website, you are the first people that I will call. So okay. So where can we find more about you, and where can we find more about what you do?
Well, we have our social media handles. Most of them, all of them, it's Lofi Code, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, but we're not really active on Facebook. It's mostly LinkedIn and Instagram. And you can find our page www.loficode.tech. And yeah, that's about it. From those websites, you can get a direct link to us. If you want a project, you can contact us. You can send your email to us, and then we'll contact you directly, and then we'll talk to you. And yeah, that's about how you can get in touch with us.
Okay. So it has been great talking to you, Mr. Jauki. We get expert knowledge from you and from Mr. Tawia, who is absent. So unfortunately, Ms. Chauya didn't manage to join the meeting. So if you are watching this video and you want good looking, as put by Mr. Jauki, good looking websites, this is where to get the website. So feel free to click the link in the description. I also put the contact details in the description. So if you want to contact Lofi Code, the contact details are in the description. They do a really great job. So Mr. Jauki, thank you for coming.
You're welcome, and thank you for the kind gesture of having me here.
Okay. So until next time, see you soon.